I did a web search because I was trying to find the gown that that woman was wearing. The Ghost of the Silver Run is wearing a wedding gown, and that's white. And what I saw was black in my dream. So what the heck? And I put in different descriptions in a Google image search, and I saw it. I found the gown that she was wearing. And it was a butcher's apron. I'm not kidding. It scared the daylights out of me. I recognized it instantly. It was a leather garment, low cut, down to the ankles, and the red trim that I thought of as coloration or decoration was splattered blood. It hit me. I can't tell you. I can right now remember that image on Google image search. It was a butcher's apron. One of the theories behind the Blennerhassett. That's it. Sorry, Blennerhassett. One of the theories behind the death of behind the ghost of Margaret Blennerhassett is that her children, the young infant and the teenage son, died mysteriously. So she spends her days walking through the neighborhood, through the woods, looking for her lost children. Many people report seeing her, Blennerhassett. The Ghost of the Silver Run is a true folk tale, and the forest agents love to talk about it. They do it every year. But the ghost appears during the full moon in August, which is exactly when we were there. But Margaret Blennerhassett is a different story entirely, because she was from a wealthy family and she was somewhat unbalanced. For example, she wrote poetry, as we know. I don't mean that, but the cool thing, or rather not cool thing about it is Margaret Blennerhassett may not have lost that baby to disease, and may not have lost her son to wandering off into the trees. And one of the theories is that she haunts this area and been seen by many people because she in fact killed her children. So there are two different interpretations, two different possibilities. The Ghost of the Silver Run, which is the bride, long raven hair. Margaret Blennerhassett, who perhaps lost to history now, killed her own children. I do know this in summary. It's uncanny for people sleeping in a cabin like that to have a nightmare all on the same night. It's further uncanny to, in general, have a nightmare set in the place where you're sleeping. You know, you have a nightmare and you're being run over by trucks in the middle of Dante's Inferno or something, or George Bush is elected president or something, or rather steals an election. Sorry. But you have nightmares that go everywhere, and the last place you tend to have a nightmare is your own room, your own house, and much less at the foot of your own bed. And what we have here is a group of people, a wife and a husband and their children, who all had nightmares the same night, all of which were set in the very cabin they were in. The reason we were there when we were, like everyone, I have two sides of the family, the Dillards and the Alexanders. And we always try to get together. We can never get together at the same time. So we have two vacations, the Dillard vacation and the Alexander vacation, or the Alexander Butler vacation. This was the only time we've ever been able to get together during the same week. And Peter Dillard, my cousin, who brought the dog, who's a wonderful old socialist and doctor and all-around cool guy, set it up. Peter is the last person in the world who would put much stock in this kind of story. But Peter set it up with the Dillard family, and my cousin Bob set it up with the Alexander Butler family, and we all came together that week for the first and only time together at that place during the week of the full moon in August, when the ghost of the Silver Run makes her appearance. The very cabin we were in, we left a day before my mother and my young nephews and nieces left. They stayed in our cabin. And I, to show you what an impact this had on me, I called my mom and said, Mom, you guys stayed in the cabin after we left, right? And she said, yeah. And I said, did you notice anything weird? I even asked her, I can't remember, but I probably even asked her directly, did any of you have bad dreams? And she said, no. But then she said, it was really hot that night, and we were all sleeping in the main room. So my mother, who was a kind of secondary parent to my nieces and nephews, they all slept on the couches or a rollaway bed in the main room. None of them slept in the bathroom. Or the bedroom, rather, the main bedroom. And the reason I made that slip was I just remembered the one crucial... Oh, brother, yeah, thank you.
Zach's experience.
Yes, that's what it was. I had mentioned that Zach was, on our last day, had to leave the van and run back in and go to the bathroom and run back out, and he was scared. And what he said during that drive when we were sharing our experiences, that on that last afternoon, 3 or 4 in the afternoon of that last day, when he ran back into the bathroom, the way little kids do. This is the bathroom, keep in mind, where the light went out on me and then back on. And then Zach said, I went back to go to the bathroom, and somebody turned off the light. And I said, yeah, that happened to me too. And he said, but Dad, somebody closed the door and locked it. And that, to see the fright on the face of a young child, he can't make this up. He doesn't have any reason to tell you something that's untrue. The way it worked was that like these old funky doors, there was a little lock on the door handle. And Zach said someone had locked it so that when he tried to leave with the light out, he couldn't open the door. And he had to turn that lock in order to get the door open and leave. Think of that. That can't happen with a strong wind. That can't happen with an unstable floor. That kind of little lever switch has to be switched, has to be turned. And he said, Dad, someone turned off the light and closed the door and locked it. The Blennerhassetts lived there in the late 18th century into the early 19th century, 1800s. The ghost of the Silver Run was first spotted in the early 20th century. Both the North Bend State Park and Cairo and Parkersburg, West Virginia, are on the Ohio River. And in fact, some of my family members visited Blennerhassett Island during the vacation because it's a noted place, a wealthy American family, noted, blah blah blah. But that was a detail I forgot. That on the way out, Zach had forgotten or Zach had mentioned that he had gone to the bathroom. Someone turned out the light and closed the door and locked it. Why is that significant? Because he had to reach down and unlock the door before it would open.